Khaled Hosseini is an Afghan-American author who gained widespread recognition with his novel The Kite Runner in 2003, followed by A Thousand Splendid Suns in 2007. His novels have been bestsellers worldwide and translated into over 40 languages. Hosseini's writing is celebrated for its definitive portrayal of Afghan culture and its exploration of themes such as friendship, family, redemption, and the impacts of war. He is praised for his ability to illustrate deep emotions in readers, as well as his compassionate portrayal of characters facing adversity. Beyond his literary accomplishments, Hosseini is also known for his humanitarian work. He served as a goodwill ambassador for the United Nations Refugee Agency and has actively involved in supporting refugees and advocating for their rights. In recognition of his contributions to literary and humanitarian causes, Hosseini has received numerous awards and honors, solidifying his status as one of the most influential authors. The protagonist, Mariam, is an illegitimate child who grows up in a small village outside of Herat. She faces rejection and abuse from her family and is ultimately forced into a marriage with a much older man named Rashid. Another central character, Lila, comes from a more privileged background in Kabul. Her life joins with Mariam's when she becomes Rashid's second wife after the loss of her family in a bombing. Mariam's husband, Rashid, is a complex character who initially appears kind but becomes increasingly abusive as the story progresses. He represents the harsh and oppressive nature of Afghan society. Lila's childhood friend and later love interest, Tariq, provides a source of hope and support for Lila amidst the chaos of war and oppression. Aziza is a daughter of Lila and Tariq, but she is raised by Mariam and Rashid. Despite the challenges she faces, Aziza embodies resilience and strength. Mariam's father, Jalil, is a wealthy businessman who lives in Herat. Despite his affection for Mariam, he is unable to fully accept her due to social pressures and his own reputation. Mariam's mother, Nana, is a bitter and resentful woman who raises Mariam in a shack outside Jalil's home. She shows hatred towards Jalil and the world, which she often directs towards Mariam. Lila's parents, especially her father, represent a more progressive and educated segment of Afghan society. They encourage Lila's education and aspirations, highlighting the stark contrast between traditional and modern values in the country. Rashid's elderly mother, Mammy, initially appears to be a source of support for Mariam and Lila. However, her loyalty ultimately lies with her son, and she becomes complicit in his abusive behavior. Rashid and Lila's son, Zelmai, is born after Lila becomes Rashid's second wife. He is often used as a pawn by Rashid to control Lila and Mariam, reflecting the generational cycle of abuse and oppression. Now let's summarize the main events in the novel A Thousand Splendid Suns.
The story begins with Mariam's childhood in a small village outside of Herat. She is raised by her mother, Nana, who resents Mariam due to her illegitimate status. Mariam longs for the affection of her wealthy father, Jalil, but is ultimately rejected by him. At the age of 15, Mariam is forced into an arranged marriage with a much older shoemaker named Rashid. She moves to Kabul with Rashid, hoping for a better life, but quickly realizes the extent of his abusive nature. Meanwhile, in Kabul, we are introduced to Lila, a young girl from a more privileged background. Her family is supportive of her education and aspirations. Lila's childhood friend, Tarek, also plays a significant role in her life. The Soviet invasion of Afghanistan brings chaos and devastation to the country. Both Miriam and Lila experience loss and hardship as their lives are torn apart by the conflict. A bombing in Kabul kills Lila's parents and makes her seriously injured. In the aftermath, she discovers that Tariq has also been killed. Desperate and alone, Lila agrees to marry Rashid to secure her safety and shelter. Initially, Miriam resents Lila's presence as Rashid's second wife. However, over time, they form a bond and support each other through their shared struggles. Rashid's abusive behavior escalates, and Miriam and Lila endure physical and emotional trauma at his hands. They also navigate the complexities of motherhood, with Miriam raising Lila's daughter, Aziza, as her own. The rise of the Taliban further restricts women's rights in Afghanistan, exacerbating the challenges faced by Miriam and Lila. They must find ways to survive and protect their family in an increasingly oppressive society. Unexpectedly, Tariq reappears in Lila's life, alive and well. His return offers hope for a better future, but also complicates the dynamics of Miriam and Lila's relationship. In a climatic moment, Miriam makes a sacrificial choice to protect Lila and her children from Rashid's violence by murdering him with a shovel. Her act of bravery leads to her own tragic demise, but ultimately paves the way for Lila and her family to escape to safety. Following Miriam's sacrifice, Lila and her children flee Kabul with Tariq's help, seeking refuge to Pakistan. They face numerous dangers and challenges along the way, including threats from the Taliban and the harsh condition of their journey. In Pakistan, Lila and her family begin the process of rebuilding their lives. Tariq proves to be a supportive partner and father figure to Aziza and Zalmai, offering them a sense of stability and hope for the future. Despite the risks, Lila eventually decides to return to Kabul, hoping to rebuild her homeland and honor Miriam's memory. The city has changed dramatically since their departure, but Lila remains determined to create a better future for her children. Throughout the journey, Lila keeps Miriam's memory alive, sharing stories of her courage and resilience with her children. Miriam's selfless sacrifice continues to inspire Lila and serves as a reminder of the strength of a female solidarity and friendship. As the novel concludes, Lila looks toward the future with a sense of optimism and determination. Despite the hardships she has endured, she remains committed to building a better life for herself and her family, embodying the spirit of resilience and hope that defines the Afghan people. The novel concludes with a reflection on the enduring power of love and sacrifice, as well as the resilience of the human spirit in the face of adversity. It offers a poignant commentary on the impact of war and oppression on individuals and communities, while also celebrating the strength and resilience of women in particular. Ultimately, A Thousand Splendid Suns is a tribute to the courage and resilience of the Afghan people and a reminder of the transformative power of love and friendship in the darkest of times.